Today, I'm giving you 5 exercises that are gonna level up your shoulder mobility. What's going on, and welcome to another Move Better Monday segment with me, Bob Owen. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can know when I post the next episode. Okay, so before we get into it, mobility itself is your ability to control your body. Now, in this specific case, it's gonna be how you control your upper limb, which is basically your arm and your forearm, and as how you control that in relationship to where it's positioned, where your shoulder's moving. Mobility usually gets confused with flexibility a lot, so a lot of individuals will just, stick to stretching and static stretching, which basically means just holding a stretch for about, 20 to 30 seconds, and then hoping that that's gonna actually improve their shoulder mobility and the range of motion, how their shoulder moves. Now, a lack of shoulder mobility usually goes quite unnoticed for the most part. Now, a lot of that is coming from the daily activities and even our sport that doesn't really demand much of that range. It doesn't really require us to go really far into our limits, so we don't really notice that we're losing it. Now, the reason it is that important is that once you've lost it, it's actually quite hard to get back. That's usually the biggest issue is when someone comes in here with a lack of shoulder mobility, it's gonna hinder a lot of their performance in their upper body exercises. Sometimes it even comes up and shows up as pain. But as mentioned, today's episode is going to be on how to maintain that shoulder mobility, how to keep your performance up, and how to fend off a lot of that shoulder pain. Okay, so step 1 is going to be rolling out the muscles that are around the spine. Now, the reason you're probably wondering, what does the spine really have to do with the shoulder? Well, spine position directly relates back to how much range the shoulder can have. If the shoulder is limited, usually a lot of that is coming from either the spine or the scapula in relationship to the spine. And a lot of this really comes from the position, the posture that we kind of put ourselves in throughout the day, being in front of a computer, at a desk, in the car, always kind of hunched over, drooped over, where we get kind of this rounded back posture, and a lot of that is what really causes those muscles around the spine to get really tense. So you're gonna grab a foam roller, you're gonna lie on the ground, put the foam roller on your mid to upper back, and what you're gonna do is making sure that you stay off direct pressure on the spine, so be very careful, keep direct pressure off the spine. You're gonna essentially roll yourself to one side, basically turning your body to about 20 to 30 degrees so that you're off your spine, and then rolling up and down from about mid back all the way up to your upper back, staying away from your neck as well. Step number 2 is going to be releasing the muscles that are around the shoulder blade. Now, the shoulder blade is a huge contributor to how well your shoulder moves and your shoulder mobility. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take a lacrosse ball or a baseball, we're gonna put it up against the wall, we're gonna lean our back into it, and we're just gonna do the same thing we did around our spine, is we're just gonna roll that ball between the spine and the shoulder blade up and down. We're gonna go across the top of the shoulder blade, and essentially our goal is going to be to release those muscles to make sure that those muscles are working properly. Now, the third exercise that you're gonna do is a floor clock. This is a great exercise for improving the mobility at the spine through rotation, stretching out a lot of the muscles around the shoulder. Well, it really is one of these all-encompassing exercises. We are gonna throw in a couple more, but it really is one of the best ones. What you're gonna do is get down on all four, and you're gonna start by reaching both arms out straight in front of you and touching that 12 o'clock position. You're gonna continue this all the way through the 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back up to 12. For a detailed walkthrough of the floor clocks, I will post a link right up above here where you can really follow along and see how to really do it. Exercise number 4 is going to be based around scapular control. Now, this is a great exercise I do with an elastic. I put these mini bands around my elbows. You're gonna bring your arms up to about 90 degrees, or basically your upper arm is gonna be parallel to the ground. You're going to reach your elbows forward. Okay, so you're gonna scoop those shoulder blades forward, and you're gonna try to separate. And that's really gonna start activating those postural muscles behind your back to really start firing, to start engaging, to start pulling. A lot of this is going to allow you to start being able to control your shoulder blade a bit better. Again, don't forget sets and reps right in the description. And exercise number 5 is going to be an elastic wall slide. Now, this is a great exercise to allow the muscles that need to be on when your shoulder is being moved through that full range. So the reason why we start activating the muscles is because what's allowing you to move and control there is these stabilizing muscles, and that's what you want firing when you're doing this movement. So what you're gonna do is tie an elastic to a squat rack. You're gonna bring your arms right to your side, and you're gonna start bringing them up in the air like a football upright. So you're gonna get that kind of like that, L on both sides. It's sliding your hands all the way to the ceiling with that gentle resistance. You don't want that resistance to be too high. Just a mild resistance is enough. It's just to get those muscles that are stabilizing the shoulders to just kind of kick in and turn on. And you can obviously just take your elastic, throw it into a door jamb, and put a seat or a chair right in front of it, and you can do this exercise at home as well. So the question of the day is, when was the last time you had shoulder pain, and what did you do to fix it? This is something that honestly hits like the majority of people in society today, just because of the posture that we put ourselves in and all that. It's very common, but I want to know down below which one of you or who of you have already dealt with shoulder pain. On that note, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop it in the comments section. Don't forget the sets and reps are down there as well. And I will see you guys next time.